Those that risked everything to speak but spoke anyway, those that gave meaning in the darkness, those who not only spoke but gifted us a moment of silence.
Australian hip-hop artist and slam poetry champion Luka Lesson visited the International School of Beijing to share the power of the spoken word with middle school students for PoetryCon 2015. This year's PoetryCon consisted of 3 events: poetry hacks in which students learn poetic techniques and styles, workshops with Mr. Lesson who honed students' writing and performance skills, and the Poetry Cafe, which featured daily performances in the middle school high school cafeteria by students reciting their own poems or works by favourite poets. Reflecting on his past, Mr. Lesson said poetry had given him a creative outlet for expression that he hoped to share with ISB students.
I fell in love with the ability for it to really free up space in my life and in my heart and in my mind of things that I needed to say, being written down the way I wanted to say them, and then being on a stage and presenting them and people appreciating them. It all of a sudden became something more of like my own personal healing and journey rather than just, I feel like writing some stuff, you know, like I needed poetry.
His poetry workshops and English classes focused on self-expression by breaking down the writing process and teaching students to refine their own work. In humanities classes, he deepened students' connection with social issues by teaching them how to research topics and create art that is both educational and entertaining. He also was a special guest in drama classes, where he offered students tips for writing monologues and bringing them to life on stage.
So I do workshops relating to self-expression and writing, so generating text, learning tools on how to generate text, facilitating the destruction of the blank page, that thing that freaks most writers out, so learning how to break down the writing process so that they can generate text and create poems, and learning how to edit those poems and learning how to really refine their writing.
Working in smaller groups with targeted learning outcomes provided students with an authentic, compelling local engagement that maximized communication and collaboration.
We had smaller class sessions this time around, which was great. So there were smaller groups in the past. We've had up to 40, 45 students working with them, and this time it was more like 20 to 25. That helped. I mean, we went to each classroom this year instead of being in a bigger venue. I think that really resonated with students.
As for the experience of sharing your soul with classmates in the cafeteria, students were thankful to share the magic of poetry with an encouraging audience.
I guess it's both nerve-wracking and both fun because it's like, oh no, is this poem good? Am I good at like writing poems and stuff? But then I guess it's nice too because you get to share your poems.